This is Supriya Chakravarti back with all of you again, presenting a very important topic on how to get rid of stammering, fumbling and inflexibility while speaking English to someone. In today's world, we know very well the fact that when we speak with someone about any subject, we always have faced the problem. We always have faced all those issues in our lives, and those are, we always miss out the important steps, how to get rid of those problems, how to follow those things up to lead ourselves through a better journey during any conversation. So I'm going to present some basic ideas, the top 5 important ideas and topics, points. Those are really helpful to release the tension, stress at the time of presenting your ideas, and at the end it will eliminate all your fear, tension, and all the pressure will be gone from your mind, and you will be able to get rid of stammering, inflexibility and fumbling. All the way along you will be able to hold a good amount of confidence with a proper aura during any kind of conversation. So let's begin. Point number 1, or tip number 1 you can say. Tip number 1 is very much lucid, it's very much simple to follow, and that is recitation. Reciting any poem will ultimately help you to clear yourself or to release your overall stress during any kind of conversation, during any kind of talking, whenever you'll be facing any kind of conversation with someone. And if you prepare yourself to read out any kind of poem with the appropriate rhythm, with the appropriate style of recitation, gradually you'll be processed. I should say your mind will be processed to continue a good level of conversation with anyone. So believe me, recitation or reciting any piece of writing, reciting any poem, that will help you very much building up a strong kind of connectivity at the time of talking to anyone. And particularly when you're speaking English, it's really vital to follow the actual rhythm, and that rhythm will be built on the basis of proper recitation process. So maintaining a proper reciting schedule is very important for maintaining a good kind of connectivity and fluency level right through the process of getting rid of inflexibility, stammering and fumbling. Tip number 2. Tip number 2 is very much challenging to take up, because if you would like to fix your errors, if you would like to smooth your talking, if you would like to just help yourself guide through a big change, you need to have this point, this tip to be included in your brain. And that is very much simple. The journey takes you to your goal. Mental therapy or verbal therapy or vocal therapy, whichever you can call it, by whichever name you can call it, but it's very much influential. Nowadays we don't use that kind of trick, which is very much important, which is very much influential, and that is mental therapy, vocal therapy, voice therapy. All these things are interconnected to the process, to the exciting process of interaction with anyone. I have tested this myself. Whenever I have literally whenever just I tried it, I got the good results. I got the bright successful result right in front of my hands. The trick is, whenever you will try to figure out that you are going to miss out something during any kind of conversation with anyone, you have to be very much steady, and you have to process your vocal tone, like a proper amount of modulation is needed to get rid of stammering and inflexibility, or fumbling you can say. vocal therapy or mental therapy. Mental therapy is the next term which is always connected to this broad concept. If you mentally judge yourself or gauge yourself according to the latest reports, if you gauge your mentality, like at the time of properly considering yourself as a good speaker, if you do it, you can make it at the end of the day through making a huge change, right? Correcting yourself in these ways. In these ways you are possibly going towards a better change. So voice therapy, mental therapy, all these things are needed to get rid of these problems, to have a smooth conversation in English with anyone. Tip number 3, or point number 3 you can say, that is very much significant, that is very much notable you can say, and that is tongue twisting game, or tongue twisters you can say. Tongue twisting game is a very funny game. We always used to do that in our childhood. In fact, that helps you a lot, clearing your tongue and having a good kind of pronunciation level. It brings you to a whole new world of attractive kind of presentation that you can get right after practicing this. I'll tell you something. For an example, what do you mean by, first my question is, what do you mean by tongue twisting game? Tongue twisting game is a very particular game through the practice of which you can ultimately better your pronunciation level. Your interactive qualities will be very much active and very much proactive, I should say. It will be very much proactive. It will be efficient in your place to make yourself forward in all these kinds of things. Tongue twisting is a very challenging kind of thing. Sometimes you will fail in this game, sometimes you will succeed, but don't lose hope. At the end of the day, practicing with a very proper care is needed to have the best kind of result. For an example, what I was trying to say, for example, you can say that Shelley sells seashells on the seashore. Like, this is a very complex sentence to pronounce all the words, and the proper phrases must be pronounced really well with a proper rhythm. But if you cannot do it at one time, repeat the same sentence like this. Shelley sells seashells on the seashore. Just like I did. Be steady mentally. I'm talking about the mental steadiness. You have to be mentally steady and prepared to throw it out and to twist all things with easiness. You have to twist your tongue with easiness, with a proper, careful, steady mind. All the way along, then you will be able to gauge your own kind, your own interactive properties will be very much active, proactive I should say, at the end of the day, right through the practice of tongue twisting games. So this is point number 3, tip number 3. Now tip number 4. Tip number 4 is very, very influential to help you guide, or you can say it will help you take towards a better level of interactive proficiency. And when you will be speaking English, through the practice of this, you will be comfortably proceeding towards your success. And that is a good habit of reading well with continuity. Now, why I am saying this, there is a reason. Reading habit is very much useful these days. In the world of WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, we have nearly forgotten how to read and what to read, which to choose to read. There is a basic difference between virtual world and real world. Reading belongs to the real world, and WhatsApp, Facebook, all these nonsensical things, according to me, they belong to the virtual world. They're just ruining our good habit, you can say, our habitual journey. They are ruining the habitual journey of all of us, to make sure the amount of reading, the time of reading habit that we should make for, you can say, for the development, for the betterment of one's intellectual growth. That is the word, intellectual growth. And that's why I recommend my students, I recommend everyone, uh, everyone would be liking to grow it, to make it sure to continue with full advantage. Like if you read, you can ultimately gauge your intelligence, you can ultimately gauge your patience level, your mind will be steady, your focus will be steady, and with these techniques you will be able to understand your vocal tone very much better. And through a better technique of studying something properly, you will be able to do it very efficiently. At the end of the day, everyone who will be interested in reading will get the best result in speaking English with anyone comfortably right after getting rid of these problems. Stammering won't stand as a problem. Fumbling won't stand as a problem. Inflexibility will be gone forever if you have the habit of good reading. This is a very good habit. We all need to develop this good habit by eliminating the bad habits. Like I said, reading is a very proper way to boost up your overall confidence and to remove the inflexibility, the fear, and the fear of presenting something in front of other people. So that's point number 4, tip number 4. Now the last point, tip number 5, that is the last tip to follow up in case of presenting your topic, in case of speaking English with anyone without any fear of inflexibility, stammering, or fumbling. The tip is speak slowly, always. Slow speaking is a very, very clever way to make sure that there is no mistake, that there is no error, there is no problematic condition of inflexibility. Obvious kinds of things will be rising in our minds, will be very much obvious. Obvious things will be very much obvious with the help of mental steadiness and slow speaking. You have to know the process, how to slowly read without any kind of misjudgment and error. That is possible. I tell you, there are 2 ways to do it. First one, whenever you will study something, make sure you're studying slowly, reading slowly, with a slow pace. There is a reason. If you slowly study something or read something, there will be a good kind of advantage you will get, that will help you through every sentence, that will help you through every kind of good phrase with proper intellectual sense, that will help you share every kind of possible idea with anyone. And number 2, that is for the better understanding. If you slowly read something, if you slowly speak something, other people will understand your viewpoints very naturally, very smoothly. That's big reason to do a slow speaking, a slow reading even. If you don't do all these things naturally, you cannot ultimately get rid of stammering, fumbling, and that kind of inflexibility that we always often face in our daily life in case of speaking English with anyone. So these are the 5 smooth tips that you will have to follow up for the smooth journey of any kind of interactive conversation with anyone. Through making a huge change, through making a regular habit of all these things, you can ultimately become a good kind of speaker, and then you will have no worries at all. So thank you. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have all liked my video, and hopefully for future I will be able to provide you with these kinds of exciting and educational videos. So till then, thank you very much. Stay well. and God bless you all. And keep watching these types of videos. Subscribe the channel and move on, support me like that. Okay? So please, goodbye till then. Thank you very much.